What's up guys, Tempo Cattle here again with another short talent guide. This time we're going to be going over Muradin. Muradin's one of the best tanks that you can try to get a good hang of if you're not really a tank main and you just want a solid pick for Hero League. He's also been seeing some play in HTC, and I think he's a really good warrior to get the basics of, and that can get you a long way. I'm going to start by going over my build real quick, and then I'll explain at which talent tiers you have some flexibility and why I choose the talents that I do. So my default build that I go most games on Muradin is Third Wind at 1, Thunderburn at 4, Skullcracker at 7, Avatar at 10, Healing Static at 13, Stoneform at 16, and Rewind at 20. Alright, we'll start at level 1. I see a lot of people going between Perfect Storm and Third Wind, but I go Third Wind about 99% of the time just because I feel like this is the talent that really makes Muradin the hero that he is. This is the talent that lets you trade any amount of damage and you'll always come out on top because you regen to full so fast. This allows your healer to not have to sustain you. This allows you to take really bad looking trades on objectives, then just go behind a wall real quick and heal up. It pretty much just gives him the tankiness that makes him the sustaining monster that he is and why he is so useful. Perfect Storm is okay if you want to really just do more damage and you're not really fighting any sustain fights, only ever getting either all in or just trying to all in them. But to me, there's very little situations where Third Wind isn't going to get a lot more value. Level 4, I go Thunderburn pretty much every game as well. You get the really good synergy with Healing Static at later tiers, and it just gives you a more consistent slow since it applies the second W on the ground, so that even if you don't hit a lot of heroes with the first one, the second one is going to clip someone, and it does give you more CC compared to the other talents at this tier. Sledgehammer is okay if you're just trying to kill buildings or race immortals on BOE, but it's not really worth it since this isn't Muradin's role. And Reverberation can be pretty good if they have just a very all-in auto-attack heavy comp, but those very rarely happen, and even when they do, you're unlikely to be hitting all of the auto-attackers you need to, and then you run into issues being too squishy since you don't have the second proc of Healing Static later, so Thunderburn is pretty much non-negotiable too. Level 7 is the big, I'd say, discussion point on Muradin. No one really has one talent that they say is the best, but after playing a ton of Muradin, I go Skullcracker almost every game now. Very rarely give him the axe, and I've stopped going heavy impact pretty much altogether now. Skullcracker's really good just because you can control when you need the third stun, the little mini stun, so you can auto attack a target twice, run around a little, and then when they're about to use a big ability, cancel it, and stun them again. So if there's a Tyrael going in, you auto him twice, you get ready, you see him go into Sank animation, your stun's on cooldown, you can cancel it. Same with Twilight Dream, just abilities like that, and it can cancel other stuff like Sonya Spin or any channeled ability, so you get a lot of value from that. And most of the time, as good as Give Him the Axe is, Muradin doesn't really need to be putting out that kind of damage, so unless you're really winning a sustain war by doing that little bit of extra pressure, Skullcracker is just a really solid pick, and I don't ever regret taking the talent. At this point, heavy impact, the slow is nice, but most of the time you aren't really landing your E on heroes anyways. You use it to reposition or try to hit a Stormbolt at max range, so you don't really get that slow value most of the time. And until 16, if you go jump range, you can't really do anything with the talent, and that's a long time to be giving up a level 7 spike. Level 10, I go Avatar always. I think Haymaker's basically a troll talent. As good as it is, Muradin's sole purpose as a hero with Third Wind and how tanky he is overall is you want your support to never have to put a single heal into you. And you do that by taking Avatar. When you go Haymaker, you can still get bursted down, you can still get poked down, and it's really annoying to have to put sustain into a hero that really shouldn't ever need it. So taking Avatar, you get more synergy with Healing Static again, more synergy with Stoneform. It's just insane HP, and that makes you just basically a one-man army. No one has to focus on you, you're doing whatever you want, no one can stop you, and that just makes the fight much more streamlined for your team to play. Level 13, there's only really one choice. Healing Static is what makes Muradin tanky against burst comps. It just makes him tanky in sustained fights. It just makes him really tanky. The other two talents are damage talents that you don't need as Muradin. It's not your role. You have damage dealers to do damage, so Healing Static is also, yeah, it keeps you alive, make sure that your support does not have to heal you. That's the biggest thing on Muradin. If you're forcing your support to heal you, you should play a different hero, because other tanks do other things better than Muradin. Level 16 is the other more flexible talent tier, though I do choose Stoneform pretty much probably over half the time. Stoneform, yeah, again, other heroes are getting their big level 16 damage spikes. You get your big level 16 sustain spike so that your support does not have to heal you. That's the ongoing theme with Muradin. You do not want your support to have to heal you. You want to be doing peel and pressuring their backline and going as deep as you can and setting up stuns for your team to follow up on without ever needing any support. So Stoneform allows you to do that. In some situations, Imposing is going to make you tankier if you're against like a Tychus plus a Greymane, heavy auto attacks, or if they're really, really not focusing you and you want the extra peel for your team. Dwarf Launch can kind of do that too. If allowing you to jump really far into the backline is going to mitigate more damage onto your team, like onto a Chromie or something that's really far back, or a Hanzo, then you can go Dwarf Launch sometimes, but a lot of the times you do end up getting focused, so Stoneform will give you more value overall. And level 20, it's pretty much only Rewind. Rewind it's so good, so much synergy with this kit. Once you've stacked your passive, you have the piercing stun on Q, you have another piercing Q, you have another healing static W, you have another 25 armor from your E, you can gap close again, you can lock down people for literally almost 2.5 seconds. It's just ridiculous. It has so much synergy with all his abilities. Very, very, very rarely Hardened Shield is going to be the pick to save you from just some insane burst comp, but that doesn't really ever happen. And as good as Unstoppable Force is, it makes you pretty much invincible. By the point you're at late game, you're already so tanky that Rewind is giving you the burst sustain you need and the burst like lockdown that you need compared to more sustain with Thunderclap. So I'd highly recommend going Rewind basically every game. I can't remember the last time I took Hardened or Unstoppable Force, and I've never gone Grand Slam in my life. So yeah, that's about it. The big thing on Muradin is you want to save your stun to allow your teammates to follow up, like a Leeming or something. And the big thing, the huge theme, this is what you need to be a good Muradin player. You do not want your support to have to put any resources into you. That's the hero's strength. That's why he's so good. And that's what puts him into like one of the top tank slots. And he's pretty straightforward. I highly recommend playing him in Hero League. I think he can take you pretty far. He's a really fun hero as well. And I think you'll enjoy him. So I recommend giving him a try if you already haven't. And good luck picking him up. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.